You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always saying, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. I'm Big Q. We got DC chiming in this thing as well for PPR. Y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. PPR in here representing the flocking nation. Let's talk Pels tonight, man. Y'all hit that like button and the sub button as we push this thing through. DC, what's happening tonight, bro? How you doing, man?
All good, man. Just wondering what the hell the Pels doing, Q.
Hey.
At this point, I'm curious, man. Like, you know, we ain't getting ain't talking about nothing. We still ain't got no coach. Shit, before we know the draft gonna be here, we gonna be drafting players with no coach.
Well, yeah, the draft is when is it coming up in late what is it, June? I think it's late June when the draft pops up. So yeah, I've thought that, and I've said this in a previous broadcast. DC always thought that the Pelicans should have a head coach in place prior to July. Prior to June, maybe June 1st, so that he has enough time to kind of go over everything you need to go over in terms of finding out where his team is. You need to get, have that time so he can do his proper evaluation, so he don't be pressed up against having to go into the draft. I know we just got a second round pick, bro. As it stands right now, but there was rumored that the Pelicans wanted to trade, had interest in gaining back into the first round of this draft. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. It's just a lot of rumorville right now, bro.
Second round picks turn the starters over here, Q.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take that lightly, bro. Ain't no telling what that could turn into, but obviously, it's low risk, usually low reward, right? With a second round pick, but man, I would think they would have to get something in place pretty soon as far as a head coach goes. What are they waiting for is what I don't get. Mosley got fired. He wants to sit out a year, right?
Mm-hmm. According to reports.
Did somebody get fired recently? Nick Nurse or something like that? You were telling me about?
Nick Nurse, possibly. He hadn't got fired. It's not official yet. But Nick Nurse, there was rumors about him possibly getting fired as well. It's not done as of yet. But
why would they fire Nick Nurse though? Like, I don't get it.
What
he did wrong?
Well, I don't think
he ain't never healthy. What he did wrong?
They're not happy with his progress, but he's been a person that they considered under the gun since he went to Philadelphia. Well, Philly's a tough place to coach, period, man. Whether it's baseball, football, or basketball, Philly people are a difficult lot, man. So, yeah, he went there. They won 45 games this season, but we'll see what they got going on.
Basically, no Embiid. Embiid barely played till the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Then he got hurt in the playoffs. The man won 45 games with that. And Paul George wasn't doing nothing.
Nope.
It's like If they fire him, shit, yeah, come on over here. Because that wouldn't make sense. That would be very stupid.
Well, that's the thing too, right? We talk about that any particular coaches that they could possibly waiting on. We know that the series between the Spurs and the T Wolves are still ongoing, and of course, Mika Nori, which was another assistant coach that was rumored to be somebody the Pelicans were interested in. We don't know. Uh, they're still coaching. The Knicks took care of the Sixers, so Nick Nurse or whatever assistants you might be interested in him. The season is series between the Pistons and the Cavs is 2-2. And OKC right now, they're 3-0 on the OK and the Lakers. They looking to mop the Lakers up. I don't think you want any assistance from over there. I don't know. But in the end, the
I mean, the
Pelicans,
Lakers got a lot of good assistants, don't they?
I mean, they do.
That's
but
how
I mean,
JJ Redick making it. Like, we know he ain't that great of a coach, but you put them assistants around him, man, that elevates you.
they do. But at the same time, DC, that none of those guys, uh, the Pelicans have been rumored to talk to. None of those guys, as of some of the insiders are telling us, and that's why it's such a sour coaching search. And I don't want to be such a downer on it, but I'm just saying, when we thought the Pelicans were going to do an extensive search, and go out and look for coaches and interview the gamut, we thought that they'll talk to experienced coaches. We talking about coaches, whether that's Coach Thibodeau, who mentioned in the reports that he's at 68 is interested in having a coaching job and coming back to the NBA for the right team. And he still has the itch to scratch in the head coach game. Billy Donovan was also a guy the Bulls let go. There was a report that came out. It's just a rumor report, but there is no validation in terms of confirmation for the Pelicans actually talking to Billy Donovan or Thibodeau or Coach Bud or any other coach with an extensive amount of NBA head coaching experience. Everything, the most experienced coach DC they talked about was Darvin Ham, which is a guy that coached for a couple of years with the Lakers, won 90 games there. A lot of people kind of sprinkling him with salt because did he really coach the team, or was it a product of the LeBron thing? It's similar to what David Griffin did when he was the general manager of Cleveland. It's fool's gold because he didn't really do that. He was told by the superstar to do this, to get this player and all that. He admitted to that. So we want to steer clear of those type of personalities. We want somebody that actually has the ability to do it. And also there is the thought process, well, bro, about, are the Pelicans being cheap here, DC? That's also something to mention here. Are they being cheap?
Is that a thought process, or is that like, ancient history, right? Like, I don't think that it's much of a thought. Like, that's always what it's been. And we'll always think they're being cheap until they're not. When have they not been cheap with coach? Have we ever highly paid a coach? I mean, we had Willie Green, who had that contract, and you feel like he might have had too much, but we never really been have we ever paid any coach $10-12 million a year?
I think.
How much did we pay him a year?
I think Stan Van was the most expensive one we had. But
and what was that, about 8 or 9 maybe?
I think it was like 7-8 million, somewhere up in there.
Right. That's chump change right now to other teams. So yeah, we're gonna be cheap. That's why I want Rondo, because I think that's the best option you can get that probably won't cost that much, that could actually grow into something, really meaningful. Obviously you have Sean Sweeney up on the screen now. I don't think that would be a bad idea to try anybody from the Spurs organization. They just, it's like coaching college over there, So I don't think he would be a bad idea. Steve Hetzel, don't know a lot about him. Say he's supposed to be a player development type guy, But I'm looking at all the places he's been: Hornets, Magic, Blazers. I would love to know the years, but what has he developed? And there's no winning. They ain't really no winning teams. That's like teams you could just put our name aside them teams, right? We like the same tier. Hornets, right. Magic, Blazers, Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? So the outcome to me, I have to give him, I guess, a chance, but the outcome would seem like it would be the same. We probably have somebody, sure, he do some good things, but just you need somebody to really turn the situation around here. Like we don't have a normal situation. We're trying to shift cultures. We're trying to dig our way out of being losers, right? You need somebody with the mentality of a winner, and we got to surround that with everybody, which is why you see certain people getting fired that people may have not wanted to get fired. I mean, man, shit, you might have to pay other people who sell concessions. They might need to be winners too. You need to get any type of winning you can get around here, man. And people who gonna come with that mentality to be the absolute best at what they do is who we should be putting in the building. And I would want a head coach to represent that. And I don't think Darvin Ham or Steve Hetzel represents that. But looking at these other two guys, I can make a case for either. Obviously, I like Rondo, but it's got to be something like that, man. And with the way the draft situation went, far as the lottery situation, maybe the Pelicans got some good faith on their hands to disappoint us with the coach, and people won't be too up in arms about it.
Yeah, this list right here that we currently have, the Pelicans coaching race is not in any particular order. It's just numbering the amount of men. It's not saying who's first, second, or third. A lot of people, different insiders are saying different things, but these are who the insiders agree are the top 4 finalists for the job. And I guess the Pelicans are trying to do their service by willing it down. Now, Sean Sweeney is rumored to be growing interest from the Chicago Bulls job. We know that Bryson Graham, the former Pelican general manager, who went to Atlanta, now he's running the Bulls now as a VP, is interested in Sean Sweeney, according to reports. So there might be some competition there. There's also rumored that there could be some competition for Rajon Rondo, but nonetheless, these are the people. Now, Kevin Ollie's not mentioned. We know that they mostly got fired by Orlando. There's rumors that he might want to take the year off before coaching again. And the Pelicans have basically made finalists, which means they're not open to interview anyone else. So if anybody else comes through, it'll be a surprise, maybe another surprise candidate. We don't know. It's just how they're operating. But Steve Hetzel, Nets assistant, currently viewed by many as a front runner, highly regarded for defensive focus, extensive experience in player development with the Hornets, Magic, and the Blazers. He's the assistant coach under Rudy Fernandez with the Brooklyn Nets. And I think this is a part of the Pelicans game. There was an article we pinned on our Substack as well. I'll put a link. It's also on whothatdaily.com. The name of the article is called "Are the Pelicans Being Cheap?" And that's something that we kind of break down. We talk about in the article. If y'all want to check that out, I'll pin it and put it in the community section. Y'all share it around and join the Substack. But nonetheless, to talk about in the article, it makes mention of the candidates Pelicans looking at. It also talks about the reset period that happened with OKC, San Antonio, and Minnesota all around the same time frame, and showing that OKC right now, they won a championship last year. San Antonio has bounced back to, an amazing bounce back from what they were last year to where they are now. They just, they got back to where they were. And of course, Minnesota has all of a sudden been a mainstay operating with Chris Finch, who was a former assistant coach with the Pelicans. So, or the Hornets rather. But the bottom line is this, is that the Pelicans have an opportunity, a supreme one, DC, to pick up the next coach. Now, listen, a lot needs to be considered right here before they make this pick. And that's because whoever the coach is, it's going to be a 4 or 5 year agreement that would ultimately put this man with this team, DC, and you have Zion and Trey getting into their prime years. So a lot of the developmental stuff we've been waiting for with Zion and Trey, all this kind of stuff, we're starting to see that maturation. Herb, all these guys are getting into that area. And the next 5 years we'll see some of that. So you want to make sure, right, that you get the right guy who can that can motivate and organize be disciplined, who can put a foot to their ass when they need to, and not over congratulate like weak Borrego did. So, which one of these guys fit that? I know a lot of people love Rondo because he's Rondo. But you look at the rest of them, like Darvin Ham, most experienced candidate, head coach of the Lakers, 22-24, led Lakers to Western Conference Finals appearance. Rondo, intriguing choice due to his high IQ, basketball high IQ, history as a former Pelicans player, no head coaching experience, but gaining coaching reps under Doc Rivers in Milwaukee. Sean Sweeney, a coveted defensive specialist from Popovich side of things, and recent supports suggests he may be leaning toward vacancies in Orlando or Chicago. So you see Sweeney is being set up for a head coaching job. If that's indeed the case, DC, then Sweeney could be the guy. He could be the guy if he's the most sought after guy, because all these other candidates outside of Rondo, we heard some rumors, but all these other guys are not guys people are looking to beat down the block for. But I did hear from many people about Sean Sweeney and his philosophies and how he's ready to take the step as he is the assistant coach under Mitch Johnson in San Antonio. You can see many times Sweeney stepping and, talking to Mitch Johnson and, in his ear, him conversating, very much involved. Serious temperament, DC, organized, serious defensive approach. Principles fit what we're looking for. Plus the price tag is going to be there too. So kind of follow up what I just said.
Yeah, man. I mean, there ain't a lot to follow up. You hitting it out the park right now, man. As far as what's going on, and like you were saying at the end, the price tag is always going to be a major thing, right? But obviously, I think whatever coach we do get, we got a lot of work on our hands because we have to get a whole brand new staff, right? This is actually a great thing because what the Pelicans normally do is try to keep handing you over the same damn staff. So they finally learned their lesson with that. But will they pick the right coach? And who would you consider the right coach? Before we move on and talk about this draft pick,
to be honest with you, I really like Rajon Rondo. I just think this might not be the thing for Rajon, right? If we were a team that had all of like a bunch of young people to learn, he comes in and listen. His inexperience is one thing. We know we've seen that with JJ Redick. All he has to do is assemble on a staff of really excellent assistant coaches and veteran coaches that can help guide them, like just what JJ Redick doing. So that kind of cuts down on the non-experience factor. But to be honest with you, outside the wow factor that Rajon Rondo represents, I think Sean Sweeney is a guy, and I've really been doing a lot of research into these four candidates, DC. I feel the same way you feel about Steve Hetzel. He's done some positive stuff, and they love his development, his player development mode, where he works well with the players. He get them to develop their skill sets. He's a good communicator. I can understand why the Pelicans interviewed him. But Sean Sweeney, DC, to me, when you break down each one of these people, and go into the price tag, because he's going to be a new coach, so he's going to work anywhere between $4 to $6 million. So that fits the cheap marker or the conservative approach there. He is a serious, like, defensive-minded, organized coach, nonsense type coach that we're gonna run it till we get it right type of go. But you could talk to him, that sort of thing. And he is that type of temperament. Just looking at the finalists, he fits that because it's a lot of pop strategy, DC. Also, remember, this Greg Popovich trained guy, and I know we had that from Borrego from the offensive side, his principles there. But Sean Sweeney.
Billy Green was also a pop guy too, right?
A mixture more. He did a little something with Pop. He was with Kerr. He was with he was more Monty Williams than I think he was.
But before he ever went to Monty Williams, wasn't he with the Spurs, right?
Yeah, but it's a difference. If you look at
that's why he got his coaching chops.
Yeah, but he no, he don't have it. But that's what I'm saying for guys. So
He went to Monty Williams and he started crying.
Well, he started crying after Monty Williams beat him in the playoffs. That's what you're talking about.
You think that was the first time he cried in front of Monty?
He probably been crying. DCV.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody. So yeah, you might have something there, my brother. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. When you break down these guys, because man, listen, I was playing interviews and all that, listening to the breakdown ball out of each of the philosophies. Not really impressed with Darvin Ham, because even though he is a gritty, defensive-minded of coach, and he has a winning record as a head coach, but I would consider him more like a lateral move than a vertical move. You know what I'm saying, DC? Because of the, just obviously because of the I just don't think that he's a proper fit for us. Now, I see my two favorite selections here is Rondo, if he gets the right stab, but really I think Sean Sweeney coming in here, serious temperament, his focus is to fix the defense, turn you over, high IQ on the defensive end, organized structure, doing this sort of thing, playing, having the pace, but having the defensive IQ and organization, that sort of thing. And plus, I think he'll bring in a pretty good staff of his own. He brings some of that ingenious pop stuff with him as well. So I just like Sweeney. And listen, a lot of people think Sweeney is ready. The DC, a lot of people think Sweeney is ready to make that leap as well. So, hey man, we'll see what it is on the flip side, man. But the bottom line is it is what it is. Now listen, I'm gonna play this little breakdown right here. Is this man gonna kind of explain to the family members about inside Spurs defense, how Sean Sweeney built a system around Wemby. Let me play this for y'all so he can give y'all a little inside baseball on what we're talking about here. Now, y'all take a gander and a listen to this, DC, and you tell me what you think about this, bro. Here we go.
For a unicorn. A big reason for the shift sits on the sideline. Sean Sweeney, hired this offseason after his success designing top 10 defenses in Dallas and Milwaukee, has put a distinct fingerprint on this group. And yes, a lot of that starts with Wemby. His length warps space and time. He not only blocks shots, but changes decisions completely. Watch this play here. Cooper Flagg drives hard, but at the sight of Wemby, he comes to two and has to back pivot to find another option. Offenses see Wemby and hesitate into turnovers, not knowing if they should take the layup or throw the pass. They can reroute themselves to take much tougher mid-range jump shots or just get blocked completely. He's truly redefined what rim protection means. But here's the part that's easy to miss. The system around him, the rotations, the positioning, the subtle techniques, that isn't by accident. It's not just Wemby making plays, it's a system built to unleash him. And San Antonio's roster is almost perfectly designed for this style. Long physical guards like Castle, Champagne, Harper, and Johnson pick up the ball full court, turn ball handlers, get deflections at the point of attack, and extend the Spurs defense. They can pressure, chase, and funnel, all knowing that Wemby's waiting behind them. Especially in a league that has prioritized wings and slashers over ball handlers, and has even seen a slew of injuries at the point guard spot across the league, this makes a prime target to focus a defense and turn up the pressure on true initiators. Of course, that backline safety net in Wemby gives the Spurs something rare in today's NBA. Freedom to close out aggressively, to press up higher on initiators, to stay longer in the gaps, and even keep their matchups instead of switching everything. Most teams today default to switching to survive actions like triple handoffs. The Spurs, well, they chase those actions relentlessly. And by staying connected, they can blow up the action completely. They can extend the point of attack or force drives into the teeth of their defense.
Look at that, DC.
Compare this to a switching team where that dribble handoff can still be coming at the three-point line. Well, now the Spurs have the ability to extend the handoff even further away from the basket. But what might be most fascinating is something we haven't even talked about, and that's how the Spurs handle one of the NBA's most popular actions, the zoom handoff. For those of you not familiar, that's usually when the trail big gets the ball at the top of the key. And when they dribble at a wing, well, that wing is going to set a down screen or slip it altogether. And then that corner guy is going to come off for a dribble handoff. The Spurs, though, have adapted to that play. Watch how they anticipate the moment the ball hits the trail post player. The corner defender immediately hugs and snuggles into his man, closing that gap before the handoff even starts. That anticipation lets them chase through tight blow-up timing and even stay with the play. They've turned that pass into the perimeter post player into an anticipation spot for their defense, allowing their players to predict and prepare for what's about to happen. Meanwhile, Wemby, or whichever big is in, sags deep off the initiator. He clogs the passing lanes, protects against those back cuts, and positions himself to recover to the rim if need be. It's anticipation and deterrence at the same time, and it's been giving teams fits over these last couple of games. And when or if that ball does penetrate the Spurs defense, well, their rim protection doesn't stop with Wemby. Everyone contributes. Their guards and wings wall up beautifully. Vertical contests, chest first, hands high, making even strong finishers uncomfortable. Guards will slide over and help and execute a beautiful wall up on drives. And you can tell this group drills it tirelessly. And because they have such great rim protection, especially with Wemby, their closeouts can be faster and harder because they know they have that backline support. In fact, the Spurs will even scramble guys off the line almost like a constant funnel to Wemby. I've also noticed a greater prevalence of middle penetration given up, which would align with this system since finishing across the lane is tougher than those baseline drives, and those middle kickouts that would worry you in middle penetration aren't as scary when you can run shooters off the line.
All right, DC, man, that was game, bro. Shout out to Coach Mike breaking it down. But DC,
I agree to disagree.
Okay, so
I look at it like, they got fucking Wemby, man. Wemby's 7'5". He's just ridiculous as a defensive anchor. Any team that has a defensive anchor like that is going to be good. Not to discredit Sweeney, and some of the other techniques are pretty cool, and I'm sure he coaches the guys up on that end. But just saying that don't make me be like, oh man, I gotta have Sweeney. I just don't see it. And my thing to me is more of I guess the personality or the injection of toughness here. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see Sweeney being that guy. And watching all of that, to me, the majority of it is like, it's just a benefit of Wemby. Like, I'm pretty sure Minnesota's defense is pretty good too. Having Rudy Gobert, like, it's just one of them things that come with it. Like, everybody gonna play better on the defensive end because when they do make mistakes, they're covered up or they get erased, and it's just easier. So agree to disagree, bro. But I get the point.
Right. Well, this is the thing why I like what we're talking about, because that's not only just what he talked about with the San Antonio Spurs. He's done this type of work with the two other previous teams. So it's not like, it's just, I get it with the Wemby thing, right? You got Wembanyama, he makes the game a lot easier. But it's just, using the talent, because he did his thing when he was in Milwaukee, and the guy gets results. He knows what he's looking for. Like he was doing it with Dallas, DC, when he was with the Spurs. With the Mavericks before he did. So the Bucks, the Mavericks, and the Spurs, the guy got a proven system. That's why Joe Dumars is looking at Sean Sweeney. That's why the Bulls. That's why the Mavericks and not the Mavericks, but the Bulls and the Magic rather are looking at this guy as a possible candidate to be a head coach. Now, do we see a little Mark Daigneault in him, DC? I don't know if I see Mark Daigneault in him, but a lot of people believe Sweeney is ready to take the jump in being a guy. So,
from what it said right there, you won't go to Orlando or Chicago. See the Pelicans on now.
Okay, now let me play a little bit more, DC. Hold on, let me get a little bit more here of Sweeney, because like I said, I had an opportunity to kind of just study.
You trying to sell Sweeney hard, huh, bro?
No, I'm saying you asking me what I like about Sweeney, and I'm telling you I did my research.
All right.
And then just
All right.
now listen to this. This just giving game. This is what PPR do. Kind of just open the game. Here's Sweeney talking about verticality.
The drill is verticalities. So a very, very simple one here is I'm going to put you right here, and I want a player here, and let's get a player right here. Yep. Coach will have the ball, so he's going to stand underneath the basket. All right. So you do not have vision of it, and coach will throw it to one player or the other. If he throws it there, your job is to dribble 2 hard dribbles as fast as you can. Now stop. In the NBA, we have this restricted circle like they have down here. Your job is to beat him to the restricted. Why do we want to beat him to the restricted? Because we want them to take these harder shots, these less analytically valuable shots, as opposed to getting to the rim where they can score the ball and draw more fouls. So your job is to sprint to that restricted, get ahead of them, and all you're going to do is you're going to even one more step back. Yep, you're trying to protect it there. Unless you got one of these guys that's going to cock it, you're going to stay right there. We want to help across, not up. And you're just going to put that ball in his chest. So you're going to jump. He's just going to put it in your chest. Just working on that verticality. So let's try it one time here. All we're working on is just verticality. Beat him to the spot. Yep, getting restricted. Yep, right idea. So you see how it's a little bit unnatural for you, but we even want you to go even a little bit further back there, because if he has to take that tough floater over you, you're going to do a good job on taking it away. So let's try it one more time. Yep. Excellent. Great job. We'll have bigs and smalls do this. One of my colleagues, Jared Dudley, who played in the NBA for 13 seasons and is an assistant for us in Dallas, will say now that the verticality is the new charge, because charges are getting so much harder to take. They're getting called more infrequently. He is a big believer in using verticality whenever possible, because they call less fouls on it and it's still hard to finish that shot. So using verticality is something that we teach a lot and we try to get our players to do.
All right, that's just a little bit of him, and I'm gonna find some stuff if you want me to look for Rondo and all these other guys.
Something you ain't gonna like.
Go ahead.
Didn't Jared Dudley turn the opportunity to be head coach with us down?
I don't think so. There was a rumor that the Pelicans were interested in reaching out to him.
I think he turned it down. I think it also said that he turned it down. But anyway, Jared Dudley is one of his colleagues that he brought up, man. I don't think he's gonna want to come here, especially if he's as good as you're telling me he is, man. I don't see him as a possibility. Even if I told you who I want, but even if, let's say, that's a better option, I don't see it happening.
You don't see Sweeney being your coach?
I see Hetzel, Darvin Ham, or Rondo. Easily one of them 3. Sweeney, I don't know, man. I don't feel it. Not that I would hate the idea of him being a coach. I don't think he won't come here.
He's a finalist here, and he definitely has.
Where do we get this list of a finalist? Because I got different conflicting reports of who's a front runner, who's not a front runner. Like, I think Rod Walker, he had put some stuff out too. Everybody has a different, but the order of them are different. And I didn't hear Sweeney in all of them.
Yeah, I've heard Hetzel, Ham, Rondo, and Sweeney. That's the main 3 out here. They all saying the same thing.
I kept hearing Mosley.
Mosley's not interested. If from what we get, he wants to sit out for a year. That's what the rumor is. But only the verified ones we hear about DC is that's the only one we hear. Here go Rondo.
Pop out. Catch it. We'll go one side, the other. I'm learning a lot of experience, being able to coach some guys kind of like myself, that listen most of the time, but we are challenging, but it's fun. And these guys are putting a smile on my face, but like I said, back getting wins. That's what it's all about. Let's go. We out. Go. Push it. Look, it's a great opportunity. We're getting ahead of the game. And that's what it's about. Trying to prepare myself after basketball and with these skills, being able to coach, the top 100 kids.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Rajon Rondo. Trying to find, look like I lost it, but I'm gonna see if I can get it back. I was trying to find one where Rondo was talking about game. I'm gonna get it back. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what it is. DC, all of this stuff.
We know Rondo, no game. It's just, can you translate what you know easily into players? You make it digestible for them. That's really, I think, what the challenge will be with him. And also, Rondo's kind of known as a hothead, so his ability to be able to keep his composure in tough moments Some of the stuff he
But it's
did
fun.
as a player,
These guys are
can't do it as a
putting a smile
coach.
on my face. But I like
Yeah, and but like, can he teach? I think he could teach the game. It'll be more
I
about
definitely think he can, but that's the that would be the knock on him or what you're looking for.
it's a great opportunity. We're getting ahead of the game, and that's what it's about. Trying to prepare myself after basketball, and with these skills, being able to coach, the top 100 kids in high school basketball right now is definitely a privilege. Way to shut the ball, play together. We got a 20-point lead. By just playing together, moving the ball, getting deflections. Like I said, I may be seeing these guys in a couple of years, so I look forward to it. But right now, this week, I'm trying to get better as learning each one individual personality and becoming a great coach. Way to go. Way to play together. Way to play together. I'm going up to the top. I'm going back door. Got it? Get back. Get ahead. Look out. Finish. No, I can't take any credit. These guys been playing hard, and we're getting better each game, so that's all I can ask. Rockets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, little Rondo, man. I was looking for some clips from him, DC, in terms of where he was with Milwaukee. Not very much saying, because I think Rondo was like a special assistant or like something like that. I think Darvin Ham was the associate head coach, like he was the second in command behind Doc Rivers, and Rondo was like an assistant type on that role. But I read an article about Rondo saying that he's ready for that job. He's ready to step up and be a head coach. He thinks he's ready to be the leader of the Pelicans. And I'm like, I do like Rondo. I know he's smart, but it's like all about assembling the staff. Is this the right situation for him, is what I ask. A lot of people love Rondo. He's smart. If JJ Redick can go there and do what he did in LA, DC, or some people say, why can't he do that here? So, I mean, what do you think about that mindset?
Definitely, I think it's very, if you do it the right way. With Rondo, as far as him being a very great head coach, is something he's gonna have to grow into. So, really, what you're looking for him coming in is kind of a guy that can set the tone, give the team an identity. That's the main thing for me. I don't see Sean Sweeney doing that. I don't see Darvin Ham doing that. I don't know about Steve Hetzel, but I don't think he'd do that either. Like, give these guys a pecking order. Give these guys, like, put people in their roles, and it's a very, strategic thing that can change from game to game. I know we would get that with Rondo, but the other aspects of being a head coach, he would be weak at, right? So you need to have an excellent staff around him. And I mean, damn near all of these coaches, you probably would have to have an excellent staff around, right? But him, I think, more so than everybody else, because he doesn't have any experience being like a lead coach. So you kind of want him for the other things, and he can slowly grow into the role of taking even more command. But you're gonna have some guys that's got to be real detail oriented and really great at being assistants. If you can put that around Rondo, man, I don't think you can lose. Maybe this season, you don't know how the first season of it will go, but you will be a winner. And probably the first season, if you put good assistant coaches around them, we definitely probably at least make the play in. Probably would make a lower seeded playoff. You know what I'm saying? We wind up being 6, 7, 8. If you do that and have the vision and utilize these pieces, obviously we need to make a few changes to the roster to kind of make things fit better. But Rondo, he just brings, I guess, the excitement for something new. It's going to be something you haven't seen before, at least for the Pelicans. And I really think he can get through to all of the players. Like, there's not a player on the team that won't respect Rondo. He's played. They know he's played at a high level.
Championships.
Right. And he's not the type of person that seems like he tolerates disrespect, right? So the problem or the main negative with Rondo is when things aren't going well, how will that be handled or addressed? Because he kind of move with a heavy hand, man. Short-tempered and heavy-handed, or at least that's the perception of him. because of some of the situations he's been in and been put through. But I know one thing, man, in all my time watching basketball, I always like point guards, like that position. My favorite players will vary from time to time, but the position of point guard to me was always fascinating. How you could have somebody basically conducting the game, you know, like a quarterback from that position. And Rondo was one of the best to ever do it that way. And it just always made sense to me that those guys, they kind of make good head coaches a lot of times, man. There's exceptions, but I think the fact that he wasn't like, because you look at somebody like Jason Kidd, right? Hall of Famer. Jason Kidd was a journeyman. He had many different roles as an NBA player, from all the way to the top to being a role player, right? And winning the championship doing that. So Rondo, to me, out of all of the point guards I watched that you looking at becoming head coaches, he'd be the closest version of one I could see being just like Jason Kidd. Hopefully, if we got him as a coach, he would get it right in the first stop, unlike Kidd in Milwaukee, which I mean he did, have success there. But Jason Kidd is a hell of a coach, man. Got his team all the way to the finals, and I think Rondo could be that same template. And then you look at somebody else like Isaiah Thomas, and that's the way you don't want it to go, right? So, but Isaiah, I think, had the Michael Jordan problem of, he's so good. He's always been a superstar, right? Rondo then got benched. He just had so many different situations. I think he can relate to a lot of players and be able to connect with any player on the team in any situation, because he's had a very colorful career. Even when he came here, man, that was an amazing time, and we only had him for a year. And you hear the same stories about him with the Bulls, and DeMarcus Cousins is always raving about him when he was with Sacramento. And we saw what he did with the Lakers, man. They wouldn't have won the championship without Rondo, in my opinion. The bubble ring wouldn't have happened without Rondo. I don't think so. So I think he's just a very unique basketball player, and you always hear about how intelligent and smart he is, and he was always able to get through to his teammates, and he was always concerned with putting them in situations to be better. And I think all those things are just perfect qualities, man, to make an excellent head coach.
Well, DC, there's a long list of successful point guard head coaches.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, and I mean, there are a bunch of them. I mean, you talk about Popovich, Lenny Wilkins, Jerry Sloan, Larry Brown, Doc Rivers, Rick Alderman, Casey Jones, Steve Kerr, Rick Carlisle, Jason Kidd, Tyronn Lue, Avery Johnson, and many other. Don Nelson.
Even
we talk.
Old Chiefs even had some success.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it's a.
Well, Nate McMillan, was he a point guard too?
Say again.
Nate McMillan, wasn't he a point guard?
He was a guard, a big guard. I think he was like an off guard.
He was like a shooting guard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big guard, the off guard. Yeah. But yeah, the guards, that's a great philosophy there. Even if I don't know if it shows, because I had to look up the list of some of these players, and some of them, the top is most winners, because it's like you mentioned, it's the leadership position. It takes brains to be the conductor, and we know Rajon Rondo is a gifted player. But you talk about guys, DC, that did it. Remember Scott Brooks, Mike Woodson. I
forgot about Scott Brooks.
Byron Scott was an off guard. Maurice Cheeks, Mark Jackson, Derek Fisher, Chauncey Billups, Steve Nash. Well, he didn't do too
Derek
good.
Fisher wasn't successful.
Derek Fisher was what was his record?
Not
Yeah,
to me, he wasn't successful.
no, he wasn't.
I mean,
He was
yeah, some
40
success.
40 and 96. So no. Paul Westphal, Scott Skiles, Sam Vincent. No,
A
not
lot of them, bro.
scratch Sam Pittman, but Randy. They had a bunch of guards. Most of them were successful. Some of these other guys weren't.
And we all thought for a while, what's your boy from Utah? You thought he was gonna be a coach at one point, Stockton. Never
No, he never
gave it a shot.
Right, he never.
He
had
probably
the
would have
luck.
been an awesome coach too.
Right.
He just didn't want to do it.
Yep. Billy Donovan. They have quite a few of them, man, that played in the league, that did some stuff, man. So well, either a point guard or off guard or something in that role, that played the game at a high level. But it's to say that a lot of them were there. You know, whether you're talking about Billy Cunningham, these are old school names that go there. But yeah, there's some flops, to be honest with you, DC. There's some floppers that's in there that didn't do as well. But there are a lot of these guys, and if you're looking at a guy like Rajon Rondo, who had his IQ as a point guard was on par of a Mark Jackson, DC. Jason Kidd was
Jason Kidd is the best comp to me
in terms of his style of how they played and IQ.
The style is slightly different, but just the IQ, like Rondo, I mean, Kidd was on another level.
He's seen everything.
The no look passes, like how he can it was just crazy. But Rondo, to me, it's like Kidd, he knew what everybody was doing all the time. Rondo was so like in tune with everybody was doing, man. They had, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true, they say he didn't even scout players. He just scouted the coaches. It's like, what? Rondo just he is another league as a point guard, man. And he was like, him and Chris Paul were like the last of, to me, the true pass first point guards where they got a gang of assists, but they weren't always passing to get assists, if you know what I mean. Like it was another level, and Rondo was the best of them as far as the last. And CP3 had some of that, but you know he had that scoring hat too that he just turned on. But Rondo would just completely dominate a game, man, with just IQ. He look at what the game needs. You see a game where, like, man, Rondo got 2 points, but he got 18 rebounds and 20 assists.
And I don't mention
and they won by 18. Yep. You know, so it's just a different level, man. It's a different level, and a lot of people don't play the game like that no more. You know what I mean? Especially from a point guard position.
Could he be like? Is that the idea for Rondo to be like? That's our version of what the Mavericks got with Jason Kidd. Because I think didn't the Mavericks win the championship with Kidd?
They didn't, but they could have. But they did.
But a lot of success, they got nonetheless.
Luka couldn't play no defense, man. They just was getting exploited, bro. But they hung in there and they got there. And I think if Kyrie wouldn't got hurt and you kept Luka with him, you put another piece or two here, they probably would have went back and eventually got one.
Well, DC, I think you might have convinced me on that, brother. I mean, I've kind of liked I like Rondo, but I was kind of hesitant about him being a first time coach. But that's you're right, you're absolutely right. The IQ, you consider it like Jason Kidd, Mark Jack. I mean, these guys, like you said, Jason Kidd, seen everything. He processed his eyes were constantly moving, passes, shooting 3-pointers, just conducting. He was a basketball conductor, pointing out, running the offense, pointing out matchups on defense. When he was on the floor, his superpower was his IQ.
A coach on the floor, Q.
A coach on the floor. That's always been his mark. And that is definitely Rondo, man. So yeah, you might have.
Yeah, we all remember him getting into it with Doc Rivers, man. Doc running plays, I tell him what to run. Rondo ignoring him and like, I ain't doing that. Everybody remember saying that and just looking at him and how he operated, man. We watched him come here and he completely elevated everybody's level of play. We've watched all of these players, before Rondo played for the Pelicans. He got that. Everybody's playing on a different level. Then we didn't have Rondo no more, and shit went back to the way it was.
Yeah, the IQ, the discipline and the IQ fell apart without Rondo. When he's there, man, when he's on the floor, it's like it's an overall intelligence boost. So
right. So you could be a coach.
Yeah.
You do the same thing. You get the same thing as a coach. The only thing I think can mess it up is like you don't know how to connect to the players. You're being too forceful on guys maybe that you got to be a little softer on or something like that. Like just not picking up the different personalities and what they need. You know what I mean? Then you run into a situation of he's going to want to make the roster the way he wants to make it, like how Willie Green would always find some journeyman to give minutes over Trey Murphy for some reason. because he reminds him of him. You know what I mean? Rondo gonna do the same thing. So it's like, what players would he be trying to push out of here? How would that work? Would that be a problem with Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver? It's like, hey man, look, I need these type of guys. This player here ain't gonna work. Da 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 da. Or actually getting into it with players. You got some downsides to Rondo's or some things you think about. And again, I'm comparing him to Jason Kidd. And we watched the same things happen with Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
They had a lot of negative, comments about him in Minnesota and how he was coaching the team and almost losing the team because he was very strict and just, he was hard on him, what the guys were saying. But I mean, look what that did for Giannis though, and he came up, we start seeing everybody kind of be point guards from different positions after what you saw with Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd started that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you had LeBron too, so I can't discredit that. But what was going on with Giannis, as far as him being a 6'10" guy, he's a point guard kind of, but not really. And Giannis didn't even have just amazing facilitation skills. Jason Kidd just saw a vision and a way that he could play, and that shit was working. But for whatever reason, didn't work out there. Changes locations. Has a great bond with Luka, or maybe not. I don't know. Did Jason Kidd part of Freeze and Luka not there? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the concern with Rondo, because guys like that with those type of personalities, like an alpha personality, I don't give a fuck if you're a superstar. Whatever. If they don't get along with you, they want you out of there. And I guess that can be said about any coach, though, right? But I think some of them are a little less likely to rock the boat on that type of stuff and just be trying to make it work. A la Willie Green and what we got with James Borrego. Like, I don't see those guys going to management saying they gotta get rid of this player or that player. Obviously, they won't do it in public. I don't think any professional coach will do it in public, but I don't even see them going in private and doing that. They might have a certain wish list when they ask them what players they want to trade for and this or that. But if you having a guy come in with an alpha mentality, man, it can be some friction. So you would have to think about conflict management and how all of those things work out. So that would be my only concern about Rondo. And you can compare it to Jason Kidd, like I said, because we've seen all the conflicts and how that happened, with Milwaukee, and then he went to Dallas, and he had all the rumors about stuff off the court in his personal life with a think he had like domestic violence issue or something like that, right? So you got all those things, man. But I think publicly everybody will be happy, and they'll be talking about us good in the media at least for a little while, because all Rondo partners be on TV and podcasting and whatever.
Yeah,
And could one of them come in and coach? Could we get Kevin Garnett as an assistant coach? That would be really dope too.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I was looking at the staff and how and then the you moved on from he don't have experience, then we go into he has a veteran staff, a credible basketball people along with him to help him out from an experience perspective. How does he then fix the Pelicans' problems? How does he find a way to make pieces work together to motivate people to do better? And like I said, you're right about Rondo. Rondo is an alpha. He got an alpha mentality, no doubt about it. So if you one of these thin-skinned Pelican people who can't handle criticism, or he's going to challenge you, it could be problematic. So that's the toughness edge. So like I said, we'll see what it is, man. I don't know exactly who Joe Dumars are going to pick. They sure taking a sweet time, but we'll see what it is, DC. I don't know. Hopefully by the end of this week, we can get more of a word beside the same crap that we keep hearing over and over again about the 4 finalists. The Pelicans have 4 finalists, all this kind of stuff. It's a very weird coaching search, unlike previous coaching searches that we've seen the Pelicans execute. It's very weird. Information not going out. They just kind of taking their time, and you would think they're taking their time to extend out, to talk to more people. They're using finals terminology, trying to figure out which one to whittle down to. I just hope the Pelicans, I ain't gonna say hurry up and make a decision, but just make
Hurry up and buy.
Just make the right decision is all I'm saying, man, at the end of the day, because you can see some of this stuff on screen, the Pelicans team stats from last year, and you can see a lot of this is problematic, man. A lot of this has to change, man. It's a lot of very high numbers in the wrong direction that has to change, man. And can Rondo or any one of these finalists flip these numbers around to help the Pelicans get back and be more consistent, man. We got all these talented players here. We just need somebody to come along that's a good coach, that has discipline, that don't take no shit, that tell it like it is, and force these players to handle their business, man. That's probably pretty much all we can just really request of them.
That's Steve Hetzel, right? You gonna do that?
Hetzel? You're thinking about the other guy.
Darvin Ham? Darvin Ham gonna do that for sure, right?
Darvin Ham ain't gonna do that. Darvin Ham is not gonna do that. Hetzel is probably one of the guys that has the most unknown of all of them, DC. Matter of fact, before we get ready to go, let me give you, I didn't play some of them. We don't need to hear from Ham. But here's Steve Hetzel.
If someone's you have a pesky defender on you and you want to block the ball, just use your foot. We call it a cross step to block, and we want to square right back up. Once you cross step and square up, I want to crossover dribble and a left-handed finish on the other side of the rim. Cross step, square. Cross step, square. Good, D. Good. Cross and go. Very good. Nice. If you'll notice, when he attacks the basket, he protects the ball. He does not bring it down here and swing it so the defender can take it away from him. Let's go one dribble now. On the move, instead of a crossover, I want to between the legs. So once you cross and open, split between the legs, attack the rim. Very good. Nice. Good finish too, D. It's important as guards that once you be able to make this cross step, that now when you open up, you can make a move right away.
All right, basketball 101.
He seemed like he's a really good communicator, so that's actually accurate.
Well, that's what they're saying. He's good. He's good. They say he's really good at that development aspect. That's why a lot of people have him in the mix, like he communicated. Now, this is tape that we just
played. Like we need to get him as an associate assistant.
Well, I mean, if you something tells me like if the Pelicans make Rondo the guy, that Darvin Ham probably would end up coming to the team and being like his associate guy. I know Ham looking for a position, but out of all these other guys, you could probably see Rondo and Ham because they worked together in Milwaukee, being a duo with Rondo being the head coach and Ham probably being an assistant on his staff with the rest of the veterans. So, I mean, it's an interesting four, DC. I didn't think none of these guys will be here. We heard the rumors of Darvin Ham. Joe Dumars kicked against it, but then ultimately we see him as one of the people that they actually talk to now. Next week, we'll see if there's other people that they're waiting to talk to. I don't know. We don't know. It's just trickling down. We don't have any timeline. Joe Dumars said there's no timeline. They're going to take whatever it takes or do whatever it takes time-wise to get the right candidate. So who will it be? We shall see, and time will tell, man. So last thoughts before we get on up out of here, DC.
Don't we need to go over the draft situation with the lottery?
Go ahead. You can speak on it, brother. Go ahead.
You go ahead and put the picks up there. Apparently, we don't have a first-round pick, right? But
we don't have a first-round pick, no.
We've averted disaster by the lottery balls magically, which I don't know. I still feel like it's rigged, at least to a certain extent. Falling to 8 and 10, man. So we got lucky in that aspect, and I think the Derek Queen situation, I'm happy for him. We could put the trade thing behind him. Whoever they draft at 8, for Atlanta, will always kind of be connected to Derek Queen. But I'd rather deal with that at 8 than obviously 4, 3, 2, or 1, right? So I guess we get a victory finally, Q. After having a lot of losses last year, we finally get a victory because when we saw how the season went and the odds were going, they came on, won some games later in the year, and it actually was enough to drop the draft positioning. So Derek Queen still gonna have pressure because we basically traded 2 first-round picks for him, right?
Yep.
But the people that I guess is in his spot of, man, you could have got this player or you could have got that player. I think it's a lot less likely that they're going to be better than him, in my opinion. I think this is a win, man, from a PR standpoint and also just from a basketball standpoint, because we got our guy that we would have got this year a year early with a year of experience under him and hopefully developing right now as we speak, getting stronger. And Derek Queen is 22, but man, if he could just grow another inch or two, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, it's on screen, DC, that the Pelicans don't pick the pick number 58, and that's the New York pick that they got, and that's actually 3 picks before the end of the draft. So there was rumors that the Pelicans were
basically we don't have a second round pick.
It's a late second. You 58, and they got 60 picks in the draft. But the thing was as well, the Pelicans were also considering moving into the draft, and it depends on what they can trade. Now, there are several characters on the Pelicans team currently that are what you would consider tradable. Whether or not somebody will take a flyer on them or whatnot is yet to be determined. So we got a lot of stuff going on with the Pelicans, and the first things first, landing the coach and then figuring out what's the next movements of the team. So it's going to be interesting to say the least moving forward, man. But the draft, hopefully you have a coach in place, the strategy, the philosophies, whether or not they'll do anything. DC, June the 23rd and the 24th. We know the lottery is split up in 2 days now. So the 23rd and 24th of June. We'll see.
I'm saying that, man. Why don't they split it up into 2 days? It's only 60 picks.
That's them doing what the NFL do, man, to try to make more money.
There's some stuff you can't compete with the NFL. I think it's stupid because I think what's going to happen is a lot of people not even going to watch the second day.
Right, but that's the thing, though. It's they earn. I guess they see it as them trying to earn more money, revenue, doing it that way. This is a very greedy NBA under this under the Silverman character, man. Very greedy. But nonetheless, yeah, we'll see what the Pelicans do, man. Getting a coach and then find out whether or not they want to get back into the first round. DC, if they did get back into the first round, let's say the middle of the first round, what would be priority in terms of the Pelicans? What would we need to do to what position? More shooting?
I don't think it matters, man. You just can't get nobody undersized. We need more size. We already an undersized team, so even if you get a shooter, you want one. You can't get another Jordan Hawkins, right? Somebody who 132 pounds, 6'4". Like you can't do that. We need everything. Honestly, you can use another point guard. You can use another guard. You can use another wing. You can use another power forward. You can use another center. Like, shit, we need everything. So you just will want to get a good basketball player. But I think picking like that late, you definitely want somebody with a little bit of versatility too. So whoever you get, you will want them to be able to do more than just one thing, right? We're not good enough to go and get some type of specialist. Oh, this he's a great defender, or he's a great shooter and can't play a lick of defense. Like we're not there for as that. But if you pick and you say like 18, I mean, you might have to settle for that because that's kind of what you're gonna be looking at, in that range, unless there's somebody with some untapped potential that they've discovered with the scouts. But if I had to get someone just based on what I would want, I would say I would be looking at like some type of shooting guard that can actually score and defend. Like it's just a complete shooting guard, because I don't feel like we have one. With Herb, maybe he can turn the corner, or I don't know if we looking at trading him or what's going on, but we got a deficiency at the shooting guard position, and we need more shooting. Fears probably could play a little bit of the two. I guess if we still got DeJounte, they probably gonna try to have them run some sets or whatever together, and maybe Fears does some work at the two to get him some more minutes. But we thin at that shooting guard spot, man. As far as having somebody that's an actual real shooting guard, can play off the ball, can make some plays with the ball, and play some adequate defense. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be a lockdown defender, but just a solid defender, Sadiq Bey level defender or something. So that's what I'll be trying to find.
Yeah, well, one pick, 3 picks before the end of the draft. The financial situation is not good. The Pelicans almost $5 million below the luxury tax, almost $6 million under the first apron. The Pelicans have until June the 29th to exercise the team options on Kevon Looney, which is $8 million, and Carlo Mekovitz $2.3 million. The decision on Looney will determine if the Pels has a part of its non-tax mid-level exception that'll be available. Pelicans also have a $13.5 and a $4.5 million trade exception, but using either of them would hard cap them at the first apron. Now, we talked about the priorities, Pelicans. We talk about being that the draft is not really a factor unless they decide to jump in that thing after they get a head coach, and he figures that it could really help the team. But getting a coach is the first level of business to guide all the talent we have. And then ultimately after that, DC, we got all of the stats, the team stats you can see for yourself. Pick any particular stat. None of these are really good except for the pace. But the team needs rebounding. The year after they finished 29th, the defensive rebounding percentage, they finished 28th this season. And then guess what? The Pelicans allowed the third most second chance points in the league. We got to fix that, DC. That second chance points nonsense was absolutely ridiculous. So not much shaking on our in terms of that. And in terms of future draft picks.
Team Q.
Say
Fix
again?
that. You got to rebound better, and that'll fix that.
Yeah, but that's a mentality. That's that rebounding and being gritty like that. And
what is our mentality? We don't have a mentality. That's been the problem.
whatever it is, it's not positive for you to win.
They don't have they don't have one. That's always. It's like, okay, what do the Pelicans
overall
do?
mentality.
They don't have one. What do they do? What's their claim to fame? What are they great at? They don't have a thing.
Losing.
I guess you want to call it that.
They got
That's
some
the
type
problem.
Of mentality.
They don't have something.
But they got both. They got a mentality, whether it's negative or not, positive or negative. They got a mentality. They ain't bringing them no wins, not enough to compete to mirror
mentality
Spurs or Timberwolves and other teams are doing.
Well, mentality and identity, they mirror each other, in my opinion, and we don't have an identity, so therefore we don't really have a mentality. It just kind of comes and goes like it's emotional. One day they feel, we're on top of the world, we're great, we gonna play today. Another day, I don't really feel like it, I'm tired.
Let me ask you this.
Whimsical.
There's a lot of Borregians out there that thought that Borrego did a good job enough to earn another shot at being a head coach full time. What was Borrego's mentality?
Yeah, Borrego did do a good enough job to earn a shot at being a head coach full time, just like with the Pelicans.
With the Trailblazers.
With anybody else with the Pelicans.
I'm about to try to tell you. If Willie Green up for a job, you better I would rather have Borrego than I have Willie Green.
Yeah, I'm sure he gonna get a chance. You heard what I said, and get a chance. I ain't saying that he deserved the job. But I thought with the situation, because he was kind of dealt a bad hand, let's be real. But with the situation,
dealt a bad hand, Willie?
Borrego.
Oh, man, please.
With the situation, what it was, and just dealing with the turnover of everything, like, I thought he did well in that situation for everything to not just completely fall apart. And he completely lose the team, and guys just quit. They didn't really quit on the season, although, they had some games where I could beg to differ. Like, yeah, them motherfuckers just quit this game.
They won 26 games, though.
They didn't give up. They didn't give up on the whole year, man. They didn't. I've seen a lot of
what good is talking about they didn't give up and only won 26 games, man?
It ain't worth shit. But pointing out that James Borrego I thought he did well under the circumstances. And if you look at guys that usually fill in for a fired head coach, man, it's very few times that there was like, a situation where they just came out and won all of these games. I thought out of all the times that I've seen that, he wasn't the worst. You know what I'm saying? He ain't all the way at the bottom as an interim head coach. Thought he did all right. But he also showed me that he shouldn't be our coach.
Yeah,
because I don't think over off season
he coached though.
Yeah, I don't think over off season things are just going to drastically change. We're going to turn it around. We just need an off season to install us. I don't see it.
Mm-mm.
He would be a good coach for us to have if we plan on keep on losing, because that's what happened. And not having an identity. That's exactly
what he would keep. But that's the whole purpose.
It would be kind of entertaining, at least, though. It wouldn't be, I guess, boring basketball.
No,
the brand that he brought was a little more entertaining, a lot more entertaining than what Willie Green was doing. So,
well, it just like you gave up one for the other. Like when Willie was running the team, the offense wasn't shit. It was inconsistent. And the defense was maybe a little bit better, but then it trailed off. And then when he ran the team for the 70 games that he had an opportunity to be an interim coach, remember he took over and had 70 games to coach the team. And the problem I have with Borrego is I just don't like the excessive thinking the players, even when they get their guts kicked in, they losing and dropping 20-point leads and quarters, and giving up half the game, and then you come out the presser and incessively and ridiculously and stupidly continue to praise these players and talk about they didn't let go of the sword, even though they got their teeth kicked in by 20 points. What coach would, and I find that was so disgusting that I was like, I want this fucking guy gone, man. This is not how we're going to turn around. You don't sit up here and thank these guys to death. And I would be cool with him doing that if I knew he was kicking them in their ass on the other end, which I know he's not. So all he doing is just creating a bunch of weaklings, which is not how we're going to get this turned around. Plus his philosophy did not meet with Dumas wanted. He wanted a gritty, defensive-minded person to run this team. He wanted to have that tough, gritty defense. The Pelicans to have that, and that is not James Borrego. He is nothing defensive. His defensive suffered. He didn't teach the principles. His assistant coaches sucked, and I just think that as what also pushed him on out the door in my mindset is the fact that I don't think Joe Dumas want too many people left over from David Griffin's administration that represented a lot of losing. And then on top of that, it's the fact that the philosophies don't quite match up. And he's a remnant of Willie Green. We want nothing to do with any of these remnants of Willie Green's era. Whoever's going to come in, let him clean house and bring in whoever he wants to bring in to do it. And Joe Dumas, this is his chance to get his head coach since he first took the job last year. He had to suffer through. Willie Green couldn't fire him because Gail had the blessing, was protecting Willie Green up until that 12 games, them 10 games, DC, when he went, well, the 12 games when he went 10 and 2 and 2 and 10 before he got kiboshed. But the reality is, like, we don't want any more Willie Green acolytes or people or work with Willie Green. We need different coaching. We need different perspective. We need a refresh with somebody more disciplined defensively and organized on that side of it. So these are some of the candidates that they talked about that might be able to do it. Hetzel's developmental prowess, Darvin Ham just to throw him because I think that's Joe Dumas just likes the dude. Rajon Rondo was interesting as well, and one that the support base wants. And Sweeney, Sweeney is the most sought out of all these guys. Orlando, Chicago, because this Bryson Graham is rumored to be interested in bringing them to Chicago. So at some point, if any of these people are serious contenders and you got teams looking to employ them as head coaches, the Pelicans might need to step to it. So we'll see what it is, man. Maybe this week will bring more definitive news on the coaching search.
Just waiting to make it. I say unless they already got their coach picked and just waiting to make it official after the playoffs for some reason.
I sincerely hope not. I hope that they don't wait till the playoffs to make the call. That'll be stupid. I think that
you didn't hear what I said. They already have the coach. They just aren't making it official to the public. Handshake deal, whatever you want to say, everything's already in place. But they're waiting for some reason to announce it or make it official to everybody else.
Well, if that's
the case, that could be a thing, man.
Well, if that's the case, it ain't but one person up on this list that makes sense for if it's a handshake agreement, they just can't announce it until after the playoffs is.
People.
Who's the other guy?
Rondo and Darvin Ham. I think that situation fits both of them.
How? None of them are coaching. The Bucks ain't coaching. I mean, them guys, the Bucks ain't make the playoffs.
I don't think it's necessarily about the team as much as it is the assistants that may be on certain teams. Maybe they want to do that all at the same time for some reason, or they're trying to see if they can get certain assistants, because if they can't, then they may have to go with a different option.
I don't know, man, but hey, I mean, you could be possible.
I'm just throwing stuff out there, man. That's all
Yeah, that's good. I know you just throwing plantain pudding against the wall to see if it stick.
I don't know about that because I think any type of pudding would stick on the wall, sir.
So you just throwing plantain. You don't need
plantain or not. It could just be chocolate pudding, bro. You don't have to be plantain pudding, okay?
You don't like chocolate, but you eat plantain pudding.
To be honest, I don't eat any goddamn pudding, to be real with you. Pudding ain't my shit.
Where did this plantain pudding stuff come from? What you told me about that a long time ago, bro, didn't you?
I'm waiting for you to finish that story because I didn't even know that existed. You told me about it, so I don't know how I told you about it.
All right, anyway, DC, let's keep it moving, man.
Look, shout out all type of pictures of it and all type of shit. You gonna tell me?
Shout out to the fam. Much love to y'all. Appreciate you being in the stream as well. Man, listen, what do you guys think? Let's hear from the Flocking Nation, man. Y'all tell us in the comment section what y'all think. Who should be the coach? I know it's a lot of pro Rondo folks out here. We're going to have a poll up in the chat, man, asking you guys. The poll will be up there. So please feel free to vote on the poll on the list of 4, according to the insiders, candidates or finalized candidates. Which of these guys do you want to be the head coach of the Pelicans to lead your team the next, because you know it's going to be the next 4 or 5 years, fam. You're going to have this guy that's coach here, unless it goes really shitty fast, DC. You're going to have this guy for the next 4 years. So who shall it be? Who should it be? Y'all let us know in the poll. Hit the comment section up as well. With that being said, man, we're going to skedaddle. We appreciate you chiming in on this episode of PPR. Shout out to the fam. Hit the subscribe button. A lot of people watch the show and not subscribe. Please do us the service and smash down on the subscribe button, man, and make PPR your first choice for all things Pelicans, man. We appreciate it. Also hit the notification bell as we continue to come at you guys with more information as soon as we get it on this situation. Very intriguing, man. Let's see how it is. And hopefully can the Pelicans get this stuff together, man, and find the right choice, man. We're looking. All right, so with that being said, we appreciate you, and we're going to holler at you on the next one. Much love, peace, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always saying, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know the flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.